This is Jill Pack with the Seasons of Joy podcast. This is episode number 114, entitled Navigating a Funk. Are you a woman of faith who is struggling to navigate your current season of life? Do you feel like life is just happening to you instead of for you? My name is Jill Pack, and I'm a certified faith-based life coach and a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I want you to know that no matter your season or your circumstance, it is possible to create a more joyful life, and I would love to show you how. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about something that I think many of us can relate to, and that is learning how to navigate a funk. But before we get started, I wanted to remind you about my summer special that I call Summer Spark Coaching. This is a one-on-one coaching package that includes 4 private sessions that you can use over the months of June, July, and August. Summer Spark Coaching is like having a personal cheerleader just for you, ready to help you reignite your spark and guide you through life's twists and turns with confidence and grace. With me by your side, you'll learn how to overcome obstacles, discover your values and your hidden strengths so that you can grab hold of opportunities for growth and joy. So if you're interested in turning this summer into an amazing adventure, just click the link in the show notes to sign up for my Summer Spark Coaching. I also wanted to remind you that I have expanded my coaching practice to include couples coaching. If you are a couple that is looking to strengthen your relationship, this is for you. While we work together, I will help show you how to create greater connection in your relationship. Whether you are engaged, newly married, or seasoned partners, you can learn ways to deepen your relationship and your connection. If you are interested, you can schedule a free clarity conversation with me where we will see if this is a good fit for you. You can find the scheduling link in the show notes and on my website, www.seasons-coaching.com, and then click on the Work With Me tab at the top of the page. Now on to this week's episode. Lately, I've noticed myself slipping into a bit of a funk. I could not bring myself to do certain things last week, like recording this podcast. I've just felt a little blah. And I think that we all feel like this from time to time. In the past, this feeling was quite disheartening to me. And it made it seem like everything was going wrong and that I was stuck in this never-ending cycle of negativity. Now, I understand that there are medical diagnoses like depression that require more than just a quick fix and require professional medical help. But what I want to share with you today is for those of us who, for the most part, have a healthy brain, but we find ourselves experiencing what I like to call a funk, feeling a little off and not like ourselves. Over time, I've come to understand that this is actually a common experience. It's part of being human. This is a part of the 50-50 principle that I teach. And this basically means that sometimes we're going to feel good and sometimes we're going to feel bad. But this contrast of life is actually what makes life so amazing. It isn't that we love feeling bad, but embracing and not resisting the bad, our experience with feeling good is that much greater. Feeling bad is what makes feeling good feel so good. When we believe that we should be happy all of the time, we will often find ourselves resisting the negative emotions that come up for us in our life, right? Which actually creates more negative emotions, layering negative emotions on top of negative emotions. So here's an example. If I feel hurt by something that my spouse says, and I'm believing that I shouldn't feel hurt or that I just need to get over it, then that resistance may create feelings of frustration or even anger because I want to blame my partner for feeling this way. And this then fuels behaviors like using the silent treatment or avoiding them or yelling at them. Then, after showing up in that way, I may regret how I showed up, and I start thinking that I'm a terrible person, which creates feelings of shame. So can you see this is negative layering, which comes from resistance. So that resistance to feeling hurt created frustration, anger, and shame. Here's another example. Let's say I'm feeling a little off and I don't do some of the things that I wanted to accomplish in a certain day. I may tell myself that I should have done more, and then I feel bad about it. And then I may believe that I have totally messed up or failed in some way, which causes feelings of discouragement or disappointment. Then I may believe that something is just wrong with me as a person and that I will never measure up, which creates feelings of shame. In both examples, the layering of negative emotions lead to feelings of shame. Isn't that interesting? When we resist and when we layer, oftentimes we end up feeling shame. I think this happens more often than not when we resist those negative emotions in the first place. I have observed this in my clients, right? That when they resist negative emotions over time, this leads to feelings of shame. This layering of emotions moves us out of balance and into something like a 70-30 or an 80-20 experience, feeling more negative emotion than positive emotion. Understanding the 50-50 principle can help us stop the resistance of the negative emotions so that we can reduce the negative layering. The better we get at embracing the uncomfortable emotions that come up for us, we naturally create more space for positive emotions because we aren't layering with more negative emotions. I think it's important to understand this 50-50 principle, especially when we notice ourselves slipping into a funk. So today, I want to share with you 3 strategies that have helped me navigate and move through those moments that I find myself slipping into a funk. First and foremost, I take a moment to acknowledge my feelings without judgment. Recognizing that it's okay to feel this way and that it doesn't define who I am or my capabilities is crucial. This act of self-acceptance and self-compassion allows me to reduce the pressure I feel or the negative emotional layering. This makes it easier to take the next step forward when we can let go of the resistance and have some self-compassion. Simply giving myself permission to feel down helps me see it as just a moment in time, because that's really all it is, a moment in time, and it will pass. So this last week, I could see that I wasn't going to do some of the things I usually do, like this podcast recording. I just acknowledged how I was feeling, and I gave myself permission to skip recording that week. I didn't beat myself up about it. I didn't make it mean anything about my abilities to do podcast. It didn't make it mean that I was failing in business or that I was a terrible coach. I just told myself that it was okay, and I'd pick up where I was next week, right? So that permission just lightens and allows space for the things that we're feeling. The second thing I do is I shake up my routine. Sometimes breaking the mundane, the monotony, or the stress of daily life can make a huge difference. This could involve trying something new, or taking a walk in a different location, or even rearranging a living space. Physical activity in particular is beneficial for me. Moving my body, even a little, boosts my mood thanks to the endorphins released. Changing my environment, like moving from my desk to the back deck, can also help shift my state of mind. So this week, I've been working on beautifying my back deck. I've added flowers and some new rugs, and I actually wrote this podcast from my deck. I love it there. It brings me so much joy and peace when I sit outside. So that is where I was working last week. Lastly, I tap into the power of connection. Engaging with family or friends, even when I don't feel like it, can significantly lift my spirits. Planning activities like a hike or a bike ride with a friend or a loved one creates a sense of accountability and motivates me to join in. This is one area that I actually do pretty well at. I know that when I take the time to connect with others, I just feel better. It helps me step outside of myself and what's going wrong in my life, right, by connecting and focusing on others. And usually I realize that we all are struggling with something, right? When we spend time with other people, we realize we aren't alone. We all struggle. And how awesome is it that we can support each other in our challenges? These moments of connection ground me. So those are my 3 simple strategies that I hope can help you navigate your funk. First, acknowledge how you feel without judgment. Second, shake up your routine. And 3, tap into the power of connection. These 3 simple but powerful strategies can make a big impact on your ability to navigate a funk. Give them a try and let me know what you think. Thank you for tuning in to the Seasons of Joy podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends and family. If you want to learn more about me or how to work with me, just visit my website, www.seasons-coaching.com, and have a joyful week.